Alright, hey guys, remember CCG back in the video. With this video, bring you guys some Mermail ATLANTEAN combos, and this is post Rage of the Abyss. So we're going to get started here with the one card combo using Net Abyss. So previously this was an amazing Atlantean monster, and now it's even better, just because we have more targets that can get a lot more value out of it. So we're going to normal summon it here, and we're going to pitch ourselves the Mermail Shadow Bodyguards, get ourselves the Atlantean Dragoons. Atlantean Dragoons is pretty insane. If you guys don't know, this card just provides insane value just because there is no once per turn limit on this card, so you're just able to discard it and continuously use its effect. And the nice thing about it is that it says as long as it's being sent to the graveyard to activate any water monster's effect, so that means that you get more freedom outside of just discarding. So then we're going to go into our Mermail Abyss Spike, activate its effect, discard the Dragoons, get ourselves the Atlantean Spirit. This is one of the new Atlantean cards that we got here, and get ourselves the Deep Sea Minstrel. Then we're going to pitch the new Atlantean Spirit here and our Net Abyss in order to get ourselves the Mermail Abyss Deus. Then we're going to be getting out our Dragoons from the grave, get ourselves Bahamut Shark, which of course will go into the Totally Awesome. Use the Atlantean Dragoons effect here in order to get ourselves the Elemental Lord. So here we're going to try to get our graveyard to have 5 water monsters so that we're actually able to use the Elemental Lord. Then we're going to special summon out the Mermail Abyss Deus. Use the effect here in order to get ourselves the Mermail Abyss Gund. Then we can special summon out the Elemental Lord. Use the effect here in order to get rid of 2 cards from our opponent's hand. They only have 1 here, but of course you can discard 2 random cards from their hand. So pretty insane just to nullify their hand and reduce it down to 3 cards. So then we're going to link away into Marinta's Coral Anemone. Activate its effect in order to go into the Mermail Shadow Bodyguards. Activate Bodyguard's effects by discarding the Abyss Gun, and this will trigger its effect as well, and then get ourselves the Abyss Deus. Then we're going to link summon into the new Net Abyss the Royal Mermail. Exceed into Mermail Abyss Giles. And here we have a decent setup where Net Abyss is actually able to prevent these water monsters from being targeted. And then we have Totally Awesome here that prevents itself from, that of course is an Omni Negate and it takes the card. And we have the Mermail Abyss Giles that's able to negate our opponent's board. So this is a lot more simple combo. This is if you don't want to go crazy overboard. You're going to see the final combo does really extend on this idea. But I thought this was a great way to just introduce you guys to the archetype. And with that, we're going to go to the next combo. Alright guys, so the next combo that I have for you is another 1-card combo using Net Abyss. Like I said, this card is an important starter for the deck. We're going to normal summon it here, use the effect in order to pitch ourselves the Mermail Shadow Bodyguards, get our Atlantean Dragoons. Then, of course, get ourselves the Abyss Spike, activate its effect, pitch the Dragoons, get ourselves the Atlantean Spirit. Use Dragoon's effect here, get ourselves the Atlantean Spirit. Get ourselves the Deep Sea Minstrel. Get out Dragoons, go into Bahamut Shark. Activate Bahamut Shark, get ourselves Totally Awesome. And of course, like I said previously, the nice thing about our Atlantean Dragoons here is that because we are discarding it to activate the effect of Bahamut Shark, and it is a water monster, that will trigger its effect. So we're going to be doing that in order to search out our card. So now we can get ourselves the Ice Shade Ran Evergreen. So this is if you guys decide to run an Ice Shade engine. Just showing you guys the flexibility of this deck. And now because we have 5 cards in our grave, we're able to get ourselves the Elemental Lord and activate its effects here to make our opponent discard 2 cards. Then we can link away into the Abyss Alacia, and then we can go into our Ice Shade Gamer Evergreen. So here it's a relatively simple setup. We have Totally Awesome. We do have the Mermail Abyss Alacia that's able to give our monsters an attack boost. And we can also, if we happen to have a card in our hand, we can send it from our hand to the grave and add a Mermail monster from our deck to your hand. And if this card is destroyed, you can send 1 water monster from your deck to the grave, then target 1 water monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So we have a few targets here in case you want to get that out. But besides that, we're really utilizing this in order to go to the Ice Shade Gamir, which quick effect, you can activate its effect. Face of monsters you control cannot be destroyed or banished by your opponent's cards this turn, so it makes it very difficult for your opponent to interact with things after you activate this effect. Then if you activate this effect in response to your opponent's card or effect activation, and your opponent has cards with that name on their field and their graveyard, you can banish those cards. So it's a form of removal as well, depending on the timing, and you can see it's a non-target removal. So it's a pretty flexible boss monster you can just add into this deck. Even if you're not running the whole Ice Shade engine, it's just a lot easier to get out using that. But I thought it was a cool way to show you guys a little splash engine you could put in the deck. And let's go to the third combo that I have for you guys. Alright guys, before we go to the third combo, if you are enjoying the content, consider becoming a patron. For just $5 a month, you can get access to my Discord, and I can provide some deck building advice there. There's more tiers that influence the content I make, so make sure to check out my Patreon description down below if you guys are interested. If not, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and watch the other videos. It really helps a ton. But besides that, let's get started here with our 1.5 card combo. So again, we're going to be using the Neptibus. We're going to pitch ourselves the Dragoons. Fill up our hand here, use the Atlantean Spirit's effect in order to discard it and get ourselves a level 7, and this is a cool way of just using the Silicanth here. So then we're going to get ourselves the Abyss Gund, go into the Mermail, or the Marincis Coral Anemone. Then we can discard a card, that's why we had that extra card here in order to get ourselves 2 Fishborg Harpooners. So this is just to fill up your hand, fill up your board with a bunch of fish monsters. And then we can go into our Adamantiator Dragite here, which is just a spell trap negate. Then we can go into Ib the World Chalice Justice here, just to search out our World Legacy Succession. And this is just like a Monster Reborn that you're able to get out with the deck. So it's a good way of using water monsters that are not conventionally accessible to you. So we're going to get these out. Then we're going to get into the Neptibus the Royal Mermail that I covered before. Use Bahamut Shark's effect, go into the Totally Awesome. Now we're going to discard our Shadow Bodyguards, and because we did use the effect to discard something, we can use the Royal Mermail's effect here in order to search out the Abyssca of the Mizuchi. And here we get ourselves Neptibus the Royal Mermail. We have our, which prevents our monsters from being targeted. We do have the Dragite that is a Spell Trap Negate. We have Totally Awesome that is an Omni Negate. And we have Mermail Bescaios that is able to negate the board. And of course, our Abyssca of the Mizuchi that's able to negate a spell. The first spell that our opponent happens to activate, this will negate it. But besides that, let's go to the final combo that I have for you guys. Alright guys, so the final combo that I have for you is a 1-card combo using Neptibus the Atlantean Prince. So like I said, this card's pretty insane, just provides really great value for the deck. We're going to be using it, pitch our Shadow Bodyguards. So you can see normally you want to pitch the Shadow Bodyguards or the Dragoons. In this instance, we're going to be pitching the Shadow Bodyguards and get the Dragoons into our hand. Then we can get ourselves the Abyss Spike here and use the effect to discard the Dragoons. Then get ourselves the Atlantean Spirit. And use the other one here in order to get ourselves the Elemental Lord. Then use Elemental Spirit in order to get rid of the Atlantean Prince and get ourselves the Abyss. And that'll trigger its effect here and we can get ourselves Dragoon onto the board. Exceed summon, go into the Bahamut Shark. Discard it in order to use Dragoon's effect. Or discard Bahamut Shark in order to special summon out Totally Awesome, but of course Dragoon's effect will go off. Then we can get ourselves a Deep Sea Sentry. Go into the Xyz Armor Force. Activate its effect in order to search out the Armored Shark, which is a new card that is also accessible for the Shark decks, but it's cool that you're able to use it in the Mermail Atlantean. Then because we have 5 cards in our grave, we can use, or 5 water monsters in our grave, we're going to be able to use the Elemental Lord, its effect. We're going to take 2 cards from our opponent's hands and get ourselves the Abyss. So this would actually trigger the Deep Sea Sentry's effect because it is sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect. You'll be able to make your opponent banish a card from their hand face up into the end phase, which could be relevant if they're holding on to something important. You could just take it away, but it will come back during the end phase, so it isn't too crazy. Then we're going to get ourselves the Mermail Abyssosia. Activate the Coral Anemone's effect. Get ourselves the Shadow Bodyguards. Activate Shadow Bodyguard's effect. Discard the Armored Shark. Go into the Abysscaios. Then Exceed into the Atlantean Dragon Deity. Then we can go into the Neptibus the Royal Mermail. This will trigger the effect of the Dragon Deity because if it is sent to the graveyard, you can discard 1 card to the grave and special summon 3 level 3 or lower fish, sea serpent, and or aqua monsters from your hand or grave. So it's pretty great just because they will not be negated. So we're going to get those out. And of course that'll trigger the effect of the Royal Mermail. And we're going to get ourselves the Abyss Sting of Triana, which is like a monster reborn for the archetype. Then we're going to use the effect of Armored Shark to get ourselves the Mermail Abyss Spike. Then we can exceed into the new Levirtue Dragon. So this is a cool flexible water monster here. And it's able to search out an Icarus for water monsters. Essentially for water monsters, it's more like fish, sea serpents, aqua, but you know, a lot of water monsters fall under that category. Then we're going to be using the Monster Reborn here in order to get the Mermail Abyscaios. And another cool thing with Levirtue Dragon is that you're actually able to use the effect here in order to switch a material with another Exceed monster, or just switch between multiple Exceed monsters. So we're going to be using that in order to give Virtue Dragon. We're going to give Abyssgiles one of Virtue Dragon's Exceed materials, and then we're going to set ourselves the Virtue Stream, which here, if you see, if you target one fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster you control, and 2 cards your opponent control, you can destroy it. So, like I said, it's an Icarus for fish, sea serpent, or aqua monsters. And what's cool is that it's searchable with Virtue Stream. Then we're going to be activating the effect of Lantern Spirit. So that was pretty much our end board, but I'm just going to show you guys how to build some advantage during our opponent's turn. So here, because we triggered the effect of one of our monsters, we can actually use the Neptibus effect to get the Abyss of the Mizuchi, and this will give us a spell negate like we did previously, but we added on top of this by being able to revive our Abyssgiles. So here we have Neptibus Royal Mermail, which makes us so these cards cannot be targeted. We have Totally Awesome, that is actually able to be an Omni Negate and take one of those cards. We have Mermail Abyssgiles, that is pretty insane just because it is able to detach Exceed material from this card and negate all of the face of monsters your opponent currently controls. That is less attack than this card. And then we have the Mermail Abysslacia, which isn't doing anything too crazy, but if it happens to be destroyed, then you can send one water monster from your deck to the grave, then target one water monster in your grave and special summon it in defense, so it'll give you some form of protection. And of course we have the Virtue Stream that can pitch either the Virtue Dragon or the Mermail Abysslacia in order to pop 2 cards on the board. So again, a lot of value this card is able to provide here. And of course we have the Abyss of the Mizuchi that is a spell negate, and we did end with 2 cards in our hand. Pretty insane just from a 1-card combo. But if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And if you want to see more combos of Mermail Atlantean, there are a lot of combos that this deck is able to do. It's pretty wild. But if you guys are interested in that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.